Hello, everyone, and welcome to this edition of FC Live. I'm Alexis Nunes alongside Stevie Nicol and Alejandro Moreno. Let's get right into what we just saw at the FIFA World Cup. Ghana up against Panama. A tale of it's not exactly how you start, but it's how you finish. And a lone goal from Caleb Yirenkyi made all the difference for the Ghanaians as they downed the CONCACAF team in what was truly a heartbreaking end. But overall, if you have a look at the game, forget the stats, because it turned out to be quite an exciting one at the end. But Stevie, I think you said it best. Panama didn't quite deserve that.
No, absolutely not. You know, I was really surprised at the way they went about it. I expected them to really sit tight and try and get Ghana on the break. Instead, for me, they were the team that they were trying to create and go forward. So to have that killer blow right at the end of the game, I thought it was cruel. But you know what? Football can be a cruel game. And you have to give Ghana credit. They kept going. And they got their goal right at the very end when there just wasn't enough time for Panama to react. So Ghana's more than happy with 3 points, but Panama, wow, that's a blow.
And what makes it really painful for Panama is that late in the match, they could have made the choice of, you know what, 0-0, I guess we'll take it, we move on with our lives. But Panama and their approach was, we're going to go win this game.
Yeah.
It was more about aggression. It was more about, let's go and try to win this game. It's there for us to win it. It's there for us to go and create an opportunity. And in doing that, they committed some numbers forward. And the moment that Ghana completed that first pass out of pressure and Semenyo was able to spring that pass open down the left-hand side, now Panama were scrambling to try to get back and defend that moment of transition, which they were not able to do. A tapping from Mike out of range, and Ghana go on to win it. Now, Ghana would suggest, while Panama's on the balance of the game would have deserved some more out of this match, a point, maybe 3, they would say, listen, there was a penalty kick here that was not called. One of our players who's inside the 18-yard box in an attacking position, he got stepped on the back of his leg by a Panamanian player. And for whatever reason, this was right before the hydration break, nobody said anything. VAR doesn't get involved. It looked like a penalty. It felt like a penalty. But again, they didn't get involved. And so I suppose Ghana will look at that and say, listen, we should have gotten a penalty for that. So we may say that on the balance of the game, Panama were better than Ghana. Ghana, in the end, ended up winning it. 3 points, big 3 points for them. As for Panama, difficult end to the match.
Well, we know that Ghana, of course, is always one of the nations that carries the flag high for the African countries. Stevie, how do you feel they're looking after what we saw today?
Well, considering I think they're lucky that they end up with 3 points, I think they probably just about deserved a point. So it's hardly I'm hardly glowing, am I? About. I mean, Ayew has been a fantastic servant to Ghana. There's no question. He's had a great Premier League career when he was at Palace, but unfortunately, he is past his best. And so at the end of the day, when you're looking for a goal, you don't see it coming from your centre forward. I don't believe that's a good place to be for any team when you don't expect your centre forward to get on the end of things. In my opinion, again, had he had an extra pace or an extra yard in his legs, there was a ball played right across the 6-yard box in the second half. If he had any pace at all, he would have got on that and they would have gone ahead then. But, you know, after him, where's it coming from? Obviously, you look at Semenyo, but again, he wasn't particularly influential in the game, probably because his team couldn't get him the ball on a regular basis. So, yeah, it's 3 points for Ghana. They probably only need another point to make sure of getting out of the group. But I don't see them going that far if they're going to perform the way they did against the Panama side, who came into this big-time underdogs, but who actually left the game, although pointless, with a lot of credit.
Yeah, I think in having the conversation about Ghana, you're always going to focus on Semenyo because he is their big-name player. And what I would say about Semenyo today, while it was difficult for him to get any rhythm in the game, it was difficult for all of Ghana to get rhythm in the game. I would also say that he has a lot to do for this team. I think they're so limited in what they do in the final third that he appears underneath, he appears out wide, he appears out front, he appears here, there, and everywhere, trying to be all sorts of different things. And you forget about doing what makes you a really good player, a standout player. And I think he's just carrying a lot of responsibility for this team offensively. And because of those limitations, I think it also affects his level play. It was far more about grinding for Semenyo today than it was about creating, and I think that's what you can say about Ghana. They grinded out a result much more so than they created a result. It's hard to look past Panama and how good their performance was and how surprisingly good their performance was. Once you get past that, then Ghana said, well, yeah, but we got 3 points. And now Panama has to go and chase points against teams that are on paper superior to them. And so this was a game that both of these teams needed to win in order to have an opportunity to advance. That's why Panama was pushing forward in the manner in which they were late in the match. They were not settling for a draw. Ghana kind of hanging on. They run into a goal. They get 3 points. And now their whole outlook changes as to how they see themselves in this group and in this World Cup.